up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Garrett Morlang, and here in the studio with me is none other than the esteemed, the magnificent, the exalted one.
I like that. Yeah, exalted. Dude, somebody exalted me?
Oh, sorry, that was a wrong script. I was reading the script for my screenplay. I'm rewriting Aladdin Jr. for the high school I volunteer at. But
it is me, Prince Ali alias Babwa. Dude, you have come to the right place, G Money. What's up, people out there in Super Gamer Boy land? This is your ultimate exalted host, JJ Purdom. How's it going this week, brother?
it's going pretty good. I feel like I just wasted that potential opener, though, for when and if we review the new Aladdin movie. I should have saved that one, huh?
You want me to stop?
I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to talk about the new Aladdin movie today because I just did that, and then now we're
they'll forget
not,
about it. We'll
so.
do it again. But you want me to break it down for you? Will Smith is blue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just don't know if
That's
you,
it.
I don't know if you saw that on the Google.
I did see a few photos, and it's a very interesting look for Will Smith.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
No, I haven't heard great things about the movie. I've heard a lot of negative about it.
I heard it was a movie.
That's about all I've heard too.
Yeah.
Like, it was a movie, and like a lot of people are saying that's one you wait for to come out on streaming services. Watch it on Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus down the road because, yeah, not worth the money in the theater, I guess. We'll see. This weekend for our anniversary, happy anniversary, babe.
Happy anniversary.
It's our 5th anniversary.
Wait.
5 years, baby.
I thought we were talking about you and me.
No.
I thought, dude, I am so freaking let down. Garrett, legitimately, I was like, oh, crap. Oh, do we have, is there like a
I definitely
thing?
don't keep track of any dates that have anything to do with you.
Then you called me baby, and or at least I assumed that you were, and I thought, like, oh, we're taking the next step. Like, okay. Is it like the diamond anniversary?
No, 5 years. It's wood anniversary.
I don't think that's what that is.
That's what it is. I Googled it.
Okay, I've got the Google app right here. I'm Googling that, and it is not wood, buddy.
It definitely is.
Okay. Maybe you got a different Google than I got.
But no, 5 years this weekend. It's pretty crazy.
Wow. Congratulations, man.
We've made it 5 years. But what I was getting at is we're going to go watch the new Toy Story movie. We never get to go on dates because we have
romantic, Garrett.
We never get to go on dates because we have a kid. So that was literally like Trudy was just like, let's go see a movie. I'm like, I'm in. Okay.
Right.
Let's go get lunch and watch a movie. We have like 2 hours. So we're going to go have quick lunch and then go see the new Toy Story 4. It's coming out.
Wait till all you have is 10 minutes and you use the chair to prop the door closed.
Anyways. How's your week been?
You know what? My week is going pretty good. I had, I'm so lying. I just told you just a little while ago, I nearly knocked myself out on Saturday. So my wife, Janet, and I were, we were jumping up and down on the bed, as some people do occasionally. And I broke the support on my bed. And there may or may not have been some insecurities once the bed broke. Due to the jumping up and down on the bed.
Right.
And so me being the amazing handyman that I am, worked at a lumberyard for 20 years, dude. You
ought to know something.
I was born with a hammer in my hand, basically. And unfortunately, I leaned the box spring up and then proceeded to lay my jaw across the rail of the bed while I was screwing a support bracket in, and the box spring fell over and sandwiched my head, smacked me on the head, and sandwiched my head and my jaw onto it almost knocked me out cold.
I bet.
And I legitimately thought that I like broke my jaw.
Knocked a tooth out or something?
Well, my teeth are fake. That would have been horrible. It would have been horrible. If I had knocked a denture out, oh man, I would have that would have been bad. But no, I thought I broke my jaw.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And so right now,
only you, JJ.
I'm telling you, like, I legitimately, and here's the crazy thing that went through my head, because my jaw really hurts right now very badly. I've been having a hard time eating the last couple of days, which has been great. I've lost 3 pounds, so that's awesome. No, I'm just kidding. No, unfortunately, when it hit me on the head, because I didn't know what the heck just happened.
Did it knock some sense into you?
Almost.
So it wasn't
It
hard
didn't hit
enough.
me that dang hard.
You need the mattress to come down too.
Right. Well, when it hit me in the head, it hit me so hard and hit my jaw that I didn't know what happened. I thought my wife had got mad at me for breaking the bed.
No.
And then like she came in and like hit me for some reason. So I had like this horrible like, what the hell? You know, like one of those kind of things. Like I legitimately, there was that thought in my head that like, what just happened? Like she hit me with something. You know, it's like, my wife's not violent, but why is that what went through my head? Like I thought she hit me in the head with something and tried to break my jaw.
You sure you didn't get a concussion?
I'm a man. I don't go to the doctor or nothing.
Okay. Lots of people die from concussions every year. I don't know if that's true, but it sounded
I don't know
good.
if it sounded really good.
Let me see. How many deaths?
You know that I do that all the time? I just say
From
stuff and like say it with authority
concussions.
and then people believe it to be true.
Let's see. There have been... no, there's no numbers. You're safe.
There's thousands.
If there's no numbers, that means it's 0%.
That means
You're safe.
zero.
You're
Nobody's
completely
ever
safe.
done- yeah.
No one's ever died from a
But
concussion.
I'm alive, so I'm doing okay. But if anybody would have, I would have been the closest because it came pretty close.
Jeez. Well, if you want to help JJ pay for some of those hospital bills that he might have in the next coming weeks,
I never go to the hospital.
go ahead and swing on over to patreon.com/supergamerboys and support us there.
Yeah, you could help us, my wife and I, go see a romantic movie like Toy Story.
The most romantic movie.
Well, you never know. They do play some beautiful music sometimes, and Toy Story has made me cry a couple times.
No, it's the relationship between Woody and little Bo Peep gets me every time. But no, go check out our Patreon. Over there, we have a few just small little fun perks that you can, different tiers you can support us at. You get random shout outs, or one of the higher tiers, you can actually submit segments to the show and have a little more say in what we do week to week. And all that money goes towards making the show better. We're doing our best to basically, bring you the highest quality product we possibly can. And we do. At this point, we're doing it with very little budget. I'm pretty proud of it with what little we got coming in. I feel like we're pretty professional, if I must say so myself.
We are pretty professional. You know, we hit a big milestone.
On a technical level. But
no. Personally, we are not professional at all. No.
No.
No, but the cool thing is we hit an amazing milestone, and it's thanks to all the support from our loving audience and our Patreon supporters.
Yeah.
We hit a giant milestone this week.
We on social media last week, we announced that we hit that 5,000 mark. We were charting on the Podcoin top episodes and top shows charts, which was amazing. But even crazier is that, let me bring up the numbers right here. I'll give you all live numbers as a recording. This is so not live because it's Monday night.
You're listening to it is not
Monday
live.
night at 8:14. But we are already, so in less than a week since that last post, what is it, 4 days or something, 5 days maybe, 6,266 downloads of all time. That's not one episode, that's all, but that's still so crazy. And looking at our episodes, like last week's episode is up to 422 downloads. It's not even a week old yet.
Guys, that's absolutely amazing.
All thanks to your guys' love and support and sharing our, whenever we put out those thumbnails, like you guys sharing that and liking that helps other people find it. So like if you see that post every week, like Wednesday mornings when the episode goes live, and you see the little clip art, that thumbnail that I make,
He lovingly curates that.
Blood, sweat, and tears every week, making that little simple little thumbnail look simple.
I've seen him cut himself open and do it in blood, folks.
But no, sharing that and liking that will bring new listeners in. And then and a lot of you guys have already been doing that, liking that, sharing that, supporting us on Patreon. And that's the only way we've been able to get to this level of this level of success. So we're thankful for it.
Share it with your friends. We want it to be so infective that penicillin will not clear it up.
Not at all. And we really could not have done it without our Patreon producer, Matt Liu. Thank you so much. I feel like, what do you say next week? It's about time for another Losing Reviews, huh?
Losing Reviews.
It's been a busy few weeks due to E3 and like a lot of big news coming out the last 2 or 3 weeks, but I think it's about time we our most popular episode for the longest time until this week.
This is the greatest information you've ever given right here.
By a landslide, by like hundreds of downloads, our most popular episode was the Nicolas Cage episode when Nicolas Cage Ruins Our Lives, where we reviewed Wicker Man.
For some reason, people were digging in and loving on the Nick Cage hate.
People love Nicolas Cage. Just can't get enough of him. So if you're listening, Matt, producer Matt Liu, you might need to add more Nicolas Cage movies to your Losing Reviews. It may completely destroy our lives, our marriages. We might lose our jobs over it. But at least we will have lots of downloads on the episode because people love the Cage.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, you could force us to watch movies like Snake Eyes and 8mm and one of the greatest movies of all time, Con Air. I love Con Air. I know that it's cheesy, but it's amazing. It could happen in real life.
Could happen. No, Nicolas Cage has enough movies though to definitely like hold us over for the next couple of years. We could watch one a week and still have so many movies to watch. But thank you so much, producer Matt Liu, and also our Patreon sponsor, Bill Bird.
Bill, I heart you, man.
We heart you.
We heart you.
We heart you. We are Groot. Alrighty, guys. What do you say? It's been a couple weeks. I know you all missed it last week. So I'm going to say it for you real slow right here. It's time for the nerdy nudes.
The nerdy nudes.
This week, we have 4 stories, and let me tell you, this is bottom of the barrel.
We made stuff up. We were scratching and clawing, trying to come up with something for entertainment value.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you're spot on. Well, E3 was last week, and when E3 happens, all the entire game and even movie industry, there's like movie and TV shows, all sorts of stuff, like news, came out in the last week or two. So now all those businesses don't have anything else to talk about for at least another few weeks. You know, everyone's kind of taking a big nap right now.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going through a little bit of an E3 hangover.
No, totally.
Because there was a lot of stuff that we covered. Last week was by far our largest episode. Not only does it have the most downloads ever, it also was the longest
2
episode.
Hours of just...
I had a hard time sticking with it, and like
I started dozing off the last couple of press conferences we were talking about.
That mostly due to sleep apnea, but now that we've got the machine in here hooked up to my nose, we're doing.
So if you hear anything in the background, that's not the AC running; it's his sleep apnea.
Yes,
machine.
It's forcibly blowing air into my nostrils.
Yeah.
Some people call them nose holes.
Nose holes.
Yeah.
But we do have some news. There was some news I could scrounge up for you guys that will hopefully be good enough for our wonderful listeners. The first news story here we're going to hit is Fortnite almost got canceled, says ex-Epic Games dev. So this comes from an interview that happened. I don't know where the interview originally happened, but the article is from Polygon by Patricia Hernandez. I imagine, all right here, speaking to Game Informer, Rod Ferguson, the Gears 5 developer, he used to be the production lead at Epic Games. He now has come out and said that if I had stayed at Epic, because he had left Epic, he's now working at another studio a little closer related to Microsoft, I believe. He said, if I had stayed at Epic, I would have canceled Fortnite, Ferguson says. Before I left, I had tried to cancel Fortnite. He says when it was the Save the World, because a lot of people don't remember this, when Fortnite first came out, it was called Fortnite, and it had the Save the World mode. Or I think I didn't even have that. It was Fortnite, and what you'd think of now as Save the World mode was the whole game. There was no battle royale. It was just it was a co-op game. Like you work together to fight these zombies. There's different levels to play through. It was not popular at all. And he goes on to say, when it was Save the World, that was a product that just had some challenges. And as a director of production at the time, the game would not have passed my bar for something we should continue to keep going. That sentence doesn't make sense, but you get the idea. The Battle Royale mode came to Fortnite in mid-2017, and it took a little more time before the game exploded into the hit it is now. Given the initial reception to the base game, nobody could have predicted what was to come. Ferguson left Epic in 2012 and eventually ended up as a producer at the Coalition for Microsoft. So that just seems crazy to me. Like Fortnite was almost completely canned, and what we know as Fortnite today to be like this monstrosity, like taking over the games industry, it never would have existed.
It's absolutely insane, especially like the impact that it honestly has had on my house. I mean,
your son wouldn't have a job. He comes, right. He comes in once every couple months and gives us the Fortnite report.
We'll be getting the Fortnite report here on this episode a little later on. As
we would not have that privilege of talking with him.
We're diving into season 9 a little later on that he is just jacked about, and he's got some information. So the crazy thing about Fortnite and everything that's happened with it, it's been 2 years. We've never seen anything like this, where 2 years later, it's still insanely popular. Yeah. So I actually just went into a house earlier today and had an inspection. And when I got there, there was a boy who was roughly my son's age. And it was so weird because it was a different environment than my home. It was in a not so great neighborhood. But to show how similar we all are, when I went inside to this home in this not great neighborhood and dicey, some would call it, it was so crazy to see a young boy my son's age right there Fortniting it up. Yeah. So, I mean, it was just insane that, like, it breaks down all these crazy socioeconomical barriers where everybody's doing this,
I mean, it's a free game, and it's perfectly designed. As much as I don't enjoy it and like it, I can't refute that. It's obviously an incredibly designed and planned out game because it has millions of people hooked.
You know, they keep changing things up, and that's one of the things that Lee will be talking about when he comes into the studio a little bit later. But it's the fact that they keep changing it just enough to make it more enticing. They're not letting it stay stagnant. For me, right. the actual thought of gameplay, the battle royale, I'm over the battle royale thing. It's not. I've never really been a huge fan of it. I really do like Apex Legends. I like that style, and that's probably of those type of games the only one that I've really enjoyed. Not that it's the same thing, but that's the kind of stuff that I would prefer. But it's weird to see it 2 years later. It's still just as popular.
Yeah,
and to see
no,
people
it's
just
insane.
going nuts.
A lot of people thought it would fizzle out after, just a few months, maybe a year. But yeah, we're going on 2 years now, and it's going strong. I don't see it. Even with Apex Legends came out earlier this year, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is gonna kill Fortnite," and then it was literally like a month later because Apex Legends has insane numbers. Like it started like creeping up, like, "Oh, it's beating Fortnite," and then like less than a month later, though, it all leveled out, and Apex dropped way back down below Fortnite, and it still has decent numbers, but nothing compared to like what Fortnite's been able to maintain for 2 years.
I can tell you right now, just in the last 1 year, so where the game is free, I could not tell you how much money I have spent in my own home on that game, and that's the craziest thing in the world to me.
I couldn't imagine the number. It'd be scary to see.
It's crazy. Every time I turn around, it's, "Hey, Dad, can we spend another $5 for some, V-Bucks?" Or, "Hey, Dad, can we do $9.99 for the latest, skin or whatever?" And I'm like, no, but that's what we end up doing is putting a little bit of money here and a little bit nickel and diamond, and those in-app purchases are the things. They're the things that are killing me, man. Yeah. That's why I'm looking for another job, because I need to have like a third job in order to make up the fact that I gotta support Fortnite, dude.
Jeez, and tell your son to get a job.
I'm trying, but he's 8. And he's, I gotta go to school.
Who needs school?
I need to sleep sometime, Dad. Whatever. I don't know.
The only number I can find here on number of players is it's just has the number of registered accounts. So there's 250 million registered accounts, which is insane. It's not letting me read the article because I have an ad blocker. Thank you, Business Insider. That's crazy though. It's over. So how big is This is a headline for Business Insider. How big is Fortnite? With nearly 250 million players, it's over 2/3 the size of the U.S. population. Isn't that insane? It's as if like over 2/3 of America was playing Fortnite. Yes. Obviously, it's worldwide, but it's.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's huge. Alrighty. Our next news story is I'm happy about this one. Obviously, this is all complete speculation. It's
Dungeons and Dragons is getting its own movie.
No. They already have one of those.
Why did you smile so big all goofily?
They already have one of those, and it's not good.
Wait, is that the one with Macaulay Culkin?
I've never seen it myself, but I can look it up for you right now. I know how bad you want to know.
I know he was in. I really don't. You don't. You could stop looking that
Dungeons and Dragons came out in 2000.
I know he was in Page Master, but I could have swore he was.
I don't think he was in it. This is Jeremy Irons, Bruce Payne, Justin Wallen, Marlon Wayans, Robert Miano. Yeah, no, nothing.
Hey, do me a favor, check with producer Matt Liu and figure out if he enjoyed that movie.
What movie?
Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't know if he's ever seen it.
Oh, he's seen it, all right.
We've actually talked about getting our D&D crew together and watching it because we all know how terrible of a movie it is, just to like make fun of it.
All right, when you do that, count me in. I'm coming and I'm going to watch it with you guys. I'll watch it with the D&D crew.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, but no, what I was getting at before I was so rudely interrupted. This next story is, I just wanted to preface, this is complete speculation. No one actually knows, but these are professional analysts that supposedly are able to predict this stuff because they're smart, I guess. PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet this is a headline, and I will read more of the article for context. They will get a $399 price tag according to analysts. This is by Philip Tinner over at Screen Rant. According to an industry analyst, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet will each have a $399 price tag when they hit store shelves next holiday season. Though the public has yet to get so much as a peek at what product Scarlet actually looks like, and since the PS5 is yet to even receive a formal announcement, prospective players of each console finally have an idea of what size of a hole the next generation of home consoles will blow through their wallets when it arrives. It goes on to say, is Michael Pachter, who is the well-established analyst, estimates that both of them will shoot for a $399 price point for the launch of Scarlet and PS5. The specs suggest about $500 or so, he says, as it was with the 2013 launch of the Xbox One, but he maintains his hunch that, and this is a quote, Microsoft will announce at $399 and Sony will follow suit. So you can see there, it's like just like a way to stay competitive, because we know what happens in the past when Sony has comes out with all their hubris, and just like 360 came out at, I don't remember the price point, I think it was about $399-ish maybe, but PlayStation came out and it was like, hey, we're gonna be $500, $600 for our console, and people lost their minds. We've talked about that on earlier episodes. So I'm stoked for this. It does go on to say, while it seems like great news for any gamer looking to jump ship to the latest and greatest in console gaming, a Twitter account dedicated to PS5 news and rumors alleges that Pachter separately, so in another analysis he did, he informed them that the PS5 will cost consumers a whopping $800, an absolutely unheard of bar to entry for modern consoles. So the same guy has said both things, but if I read all this, like what I'm reading here and what he's saying, what I'm thinking is his point was maybe it's worth $800 for the technology. but they would sell it for a lot less. That happens a lot.
Yeah, they sell it for a
it's
deficit.
widely known that gaming console makers, they pretty much always lose money on their consoles. Nintendo's an exception. Nintendo actually makes quite a bit of money off their consoles. They charge you way more than it's actually worth.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you right away, like, I read the article, I look at that price point, and I go, yeah, because there's a huge part of me that loves to save a buck. What can you say? Always trying to make a deal. But I'm going to tell you, I think that's really low, and I just don't see that being accurate. I would love for it to be $399. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to pay $400 for a new PS5. I'm just looking at it and I'm going, I just think it's really low in 2020. It's just really low, and I just don't see it. I don't see it being that low. I would say $499. That's kind of my thought. That's what I was going
to say. I think it'll end up, and it even says it here. It's like Pachter admittedly, the quote here doesn't make sense, so I'm going to reword it here. Pachter basically admitted, though, like, more realistically, it'll probably be in the realm of $500. But he's thinking,
I'm okay with that. That's actually, I would pay that.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad price. Like, that's not terrible. But if it goes anything over $500, that's when it's like, oh no, I'm out.
Yeah,
because that's what PS3 did. It had that $600 console, and people balked at that. And
because for not
it.
Not that much more, you can get a good PC. So,
it's debatable.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I just say stuff. I'm the funny one, not the smart one.
But no, I mean, if it is more than $500, what that'll do is it'll just, like, people just won't buy the new console, and they'll just stay with the PS4 and the Xbox One for as long as they can until there's a sale and it goes below $500.
Well, and the other thing about that, though, is I think there are probably going to be a lot of people who do stick with the PS4, or the PS4 becomes a little cheaper. But keep in mind, they're still going to support it.
No, yeah, and that's there's already been, I think that was a news article we did a couple weeks ago, actually, where PlayStation's already planning on continuing to create experiences for PS4 even after the PS5 comes out, just because it's almost guaranteed people are going to stay behind.
In relation to that, what do you think? Do you think that they're going to have some of the same games on both consoles and just kind of a down-resed version of? Or do you think, no, we're just going to have totally separate games?
So I think all the games that all the games that come out on PS4 will also have an up-resed, more powerful, more detailed, or like a higher definition version on PS5. But I don't think all PS5 games will come out on PS4. Like, I imagine there will still be exclusives that are for PS5 that have, like, ray tracing and all these crazy particles and super insane 8K graphics and all this stuff. But I would not be surprised if, like, with Death Stranding coming out the end of this year, I wouldn't be surprised if next Christmas there's, like, a PS5 version of Death Stranding that's, like, a little higher resed and higher, like, better graphics and details and that type of thing in the game. So I think, because that's what they've done with almost every generation. Like, even after the PS3 came out, they continued for a long time to come out with PS2 games. Like, they still ported games and even came out with exclusive PS2 stuff that, wasn't necessarily on PS3. But most of the stuff that came out on PS3 just had, like, a down-res basic version of PS2. And then
they're even putting stuff out on the Wii still. I don't know if you remember that from last week.
Yeah,
that one still blows my mind.
Oh, what's it called? That Ubisoft dance game. But yeah,
is it Dance Dance Revolution?
No, it's why can't I remember the name of it? That's
you can go back and edit that in later.
But no,
you'll never do that.
All I remember is, like, this is its 10-year anniversary. It's had 10 games, and all 10 of them have been on the Wii. It's, like, so crazy to me that it's like, because it says PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, like, all these things, and then
it says
like
Wii with a question mark on it. Wii.
It says Wii, like, with a guy shrugging next to, like, the emoji, the shrugging,
right? Like, Wii.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm excited. I'm gonna need to start saving my pennies now to get that PS5 next Christmas. But
you're gonna need to save more than your pennies, buddy.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially if it's more than $3.99.
Yeah, true that. Cool. Let's get into the next news. Todd Phillips shares new Joker image of Joaquin Phoenix, confirms the film's R rating. This comes from Rosie Cordero over at EW, Entertainment Weekly. As Todd Phillips puts the finishing touches on his Joker origin story, he is confirming that the film will be released with an R rating. The writer, producer, director responded to a fan in the comments thread of his latest Instagram photo showing star Joaquin Phoenix transforming into the Batman villain. Someone asked, MPAA rating? ? Filmmaker replied, it will be rated R. I've been asked this a lot. Just assume people knew. Sorry.
That's awesome.
Because it has not been officially announced like what the rating was going to be. To be honest, I assumed it would be a PG-13, somewhere like a Dark Knight rating. I think that was like PG-13 or something. But no, they're saying it's going to be a hard R.
Have you seen any more of the trailers other than the one that was released?
They have not released any more trailers, no. But
Yeah.
this is the photo. We have the photo here. If you guys want to see it, go over to Entertainment Weekly. If you just type in Google Todd Phillips Joker or EW, it'll come up. But this is the Instagram photo here by Todd Phillips where his fan asked about the rating. But essentially, in the center of the photo is a back of Joaquin Phoenix's head. And then on either side of him, you see his reflection in mirrors as he's putting makeup on his face, kind of transforming into the Joker there.
I like this photo. It doesn't have.
It's a black and white photo.
It's pretty eerie.
Yeah, it's very, very creepy. But I, even more so than the photo, like it's just interesting. Yeah, this is going to be a rated R DC movie. We have not had a rated R DC like superhero movie. At least of recent, I can't think of one. So how do you think that looks in like the grand scheme of things? Obviously we know this isn't part of like the DCEU, so it's not connected to Justice League, it's not connected to anything else.
Right.
But do you think this is going to be like the beginning of like a Deadpool universe, like what Marvel's doing on the other side? Or?
Yes, I would love to see that. I think that's what this is going through. And I'll tell you what, man, I know this is going to be controversial. I already love the look of Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. He is an amazing actor, dude. Just a brilliant, brilliant actor. He has brought some crazy characters to life. And it's interesting, when Jack Nicholson was the Joker, Jack Nicholson had like the wait till they get a load of me, and had like the giant smile that was from the vat of acid or whatever.
Right.
And then Heath Ledger had his incredible turn as the Joker in The Dark Knight, and that stands the test of time. Since he did that, that's the way that we all look at Joker. It was so different, and it was like, this person is absolutely mentally insane. And then, of course, you had that other guy do that thing in Suicide Squad.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, it sucked. Okay, but
I'm a big fan of Jared Leto, but man, and that.
he's amazing.
That Joker was not good. That's
No,
such a bad take
and
on Joker.
I think that's the idea. Is it was a take. It was taking a popular character, and he tried some stuff and tried to be different.
Make him like a pimp or something.
Right. And it just didn't work. But it was entirely different.
Yeah.
And so
it's definitely a fresh take. It just wasn't good.
But I got to tell you, I really love the gritty, dark way that Joaquin Phoenix did.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of Heath Ledger's without being a complete ripoff. And I brought up the thing about Jack Nicholson's face. Joaquin Phoenix has like a hair lip scar, and it is just disfiguring him. He's a good-looking dude. But looking at the scar as part of this look, it makes him look twisted. And it just works with like the pancake makeup and stuff like that. So I would say I think he's going to be phenomenal because he really goes all in any role that the man does.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope that it creates and spawns off a whole other universe.
Do you think the Joker movie will be connected to the new the Batman movie that now has been officially confirmed that Robbie Pat's going to be in it? Robert Pattinson there. He's now confirmed as the Batman. Do you think?
I think so.
Do you think the Batman will be a rated R Batman movie?
I think so.
And do you think they'll connect?
I think so, and the reason that I believe that is I think, and I would love to see each of them do a movie apiece or a couple of movies apiece, and then come together, because there are so many different stories in the different Batman universes through all the different variations of comics. There's so many different avenues for them to explore. Batman is not only one of the longest running comic book series of all time, and his characters and all the affiliated characters, but there's so many different ways that they can go. And I see it being a huge money cash cow if they're done right. And so far, DC hasn't done a whole lot right.
No.
Now, I don't want to say that all of them have been bad. I enjoyed Batman versus Superman for what it was.
Batman was a good movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. It got a lot of hate because there was a whole lot of years of anticipation, and it was a letdown. But it wasn't a horrible movie by any stretch. I loved Man of Steel. I thought Man of Steel was really, really good. That's just me. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I enjoyed that movie because I'm a huge Superman fan. Justice League was like kind of so-so.
Justice League was bad.
Yeah, I just felt like it was just
bad,
slapped together. I liked the Flash in that. Ezra Miller did a really good job. But no, I would love to see new universes created out of this. And so I'm looking forward to it. And I know that because of our Patreon supporters, the Super Gamer Boys are more than likely going to be there.
Yeah, so this Joker will premiere on October 4th. At this point, that's the date. I'm excited for that. It's just about...
Wait, is that like a date between you and I? So is it going to be like one of our anniversary things? So whereas you guys go and watch Toy Story, you and me, like, we go watch this? Are you going to, like,
no, actually,
provide the popcorn?
Probably my plan, because it's right around my birthday. I'll just go with my wife. It'll be kind of cool, fun.
Why do you always do this to me, dude? I'm trying to spend time with you. The Super Gamer Boys have a good relationship. There's a depth to our buddiness that we need to, pursue, bud.
Okay, we'll see. I'll think about it.
You never even play Apex with me? You go and I just feel so used. It's like you use me for my comedy.
Well, sometimes I feel used.
No, I do. I use you for all your like work and all that kind of stuff.
That's why I feel used, is because you always say to my face, "I'm just using you," And I'm like, I know.
I do. And
you
then
don't even try to hide it.
No, I really don't. And then I try to play it off afterwards, like, I'm just joshing you. Does anybody say that anymore? I'm joshing you.
I don't know. Everyone write in. Let us know if that's still a thing. Cool, guys. Let's do one more news story. You ready for this? You're going to like this one. New Nintendo Switch models now in production. This is by Eddie McCouch at GameSpot. So this...
That dude's name really McCouch?
MAKUCH. McCouch. Something like that.
Okay.
It's cool. It's
I'm reading
name.
McCouch.
It's a solid last name. We know from previous reports that 2 new Nintendo Switch models could be on the way, possibly as soon as this year. Officially, Nintendo has not addressed the possibility, though it did say it would not announce the new systems during E3. That proved to be true, but a new report from the Wall Street Journal published this week during E3 2019 reveals some new details. These rumored new revealed some new details. That sentence doesn't work. There's new details out. Man, people need to...
I love that you're correcting everybody's articles.
Every one of these articles is at typos. Isn't there editors that work at any of these fine establishments?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a PSA. Garrett Morling is actually dyslexic, and what he's seeing is he's seeing all the words twisted.
Don't lie to the people.
What?
You read the article, right? You have it in front of you. It's wrong, right?
Garrett, I read it perfectly fine, bud.
Don't do this to me, JJ.
Garrett.
Don't do this to me.
I'm reading it in perfectly fine English. I think you have a problem.
You're killing me. No one believes JJ is a liar. Two-faced liar.
I've only got one face.
But no, seriously, if anyone's out there looking for an editor, hit me up. I have no experience, but I'm real good at reading things.
He reads real good.
Specifically, the report states that Nintendo has decided to move the manufacturing of the new consoles to Southeast Asia instead of China. This is a result of concerns about potential United States tariffs on electronics made in China. As we reported previously, President Trump's proposed import tax rate of 25%, holy cow, would impact video game consoles as well as smartphones and computers. In theory, this could lead to a price increase on game consoles from Nintendo as well as Microsoft and Sony.
Can he do that after the PS5 and the Xbox One come out?
Oh, or
the new Xbox. Okay.
hopefully it doesn't come in anytime soon.
Please, Mr. President, please.
The alternative would be to absorb the costs themselves, which is obviously not a welcome concept for companies. Game consoles are not historically where the money is made in the game's business. Oftentimes, systems are sold at a loss or with very thin margins, with profits instead coming from software and services. Those margins do improve over time, but a 25% tariff would nonetheless be unwelcome. Let's see. We don't need to read that again. Oh, it does. This is where it talks about most companies lose money on sales. Nintendo's been an outlier where they've maintained from day one of Switch sales in 2017 that it makes money on each console sold. So Nintendo is one of the only companies out there that make money off their consoles.
I think that it's obvious that they charge too much and they need to maybe lower their price to be competitive.
No, they totally do. And they're one of the few like PS4 and Xbox One games, like used games at GameStop or something, within like a couple months it'll drop down to like $30 or something, half the price, maybe 20 if it's a real crappy game. So Switch games used will maybe drop to like 55, maybe 50 if you're real lucky.
Yeah, they still keep their value.
They never like it could be 10 years old and they'll still be like $50 at GameSpot.
That says so much about their quality of games, dude.
No, totally, yeah. That's exactly what it does. It's a testament to their quality. I mean, for the most part, not every game is definitely worth that, but it's insane. According to Wall Street Journal's report, Nintendo has already moved production of the existing Switch model. So the one that, like the current existing Switch model, like what I have and what everyone else is buying, that's already been moved to be produced in Southeast Asia now. And there's talks now that the two new rumored ones are going to begin production in Southeast Asia as well. So they moved out of China, moved to Southeast Asia. They're not disclosing which country, but somewhere where they don't have a potential for a 25% tax tariff, which is insane. That's so much. That's so much money just to import the consoles. But so Nintendo declined to comment on the report when approached by Wall Street Journal. That was a little dyslexic there.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything. But
so it's unclear when they're going to announce the new Switch models, if they are indeed real. But with no new hardware that was announced during this week, a lot of people are thinking could be coming soon.
Yeah, that 25% tariff thing, we're not political on this show, but that's scary because, man, that's like if you're eating a hamburger, or let's say your kid's eating a hamburger, and you walk in and grab their hamburger and take a big quarter bite right out of it. Just boom, just a huge gawking bite. I've never done that, by the way. It hurts.
No, that hurts real bad.
So you know what? It makes me not want to have a hamburger.
So like the current Nintendo Switch console is what, $300?
Yeah.
So that would go up to, if the customer ate the cost of that, they would probably bump it up to at least $375, if not more. They'd probably just go even $400. So
I was just going to tell you that I'm not good at the math stuff, but it would be $400.
Yeah. So
gosh, you're good.
Thanks, JJ. But no, yeah. So that's a significant increase. So yeah, like the PS5, like we were just talking. Oh, maybe it'll be $399. Well, not if that happens. It's going to tack another $100 on there. So what would have been $399 is going to be $500. If it was going to be $500, now it's going to be $625 or whatever. Like, it's crazy. That's absurd pricing. So
please support us on Patreon if you haven't already.
I just hope all the people making the game consoles move out of China and move somewhere else, or that Trump just doesn't. The best thing, would just be if Trump didn't impose that tariff. That would be great, at least for for my wallet, I guess.
Right.
Obviously he has his reasonings for why it's the right thing and the good thing to do for our government, but screw the government. All I care about is my wallet.
And I love that, Garrett, that you're like, well, let me buy it and then write it and you raise it up what you want.
Yeah, the second I buy then you can do whatever the heck you want.
The moment, look, I'll shoot you a text. I'll shoot you a text right after I buy mine.
Donald, can I talk with you? Yeah.
Don.
Okay.
Yeah, what is the deal? What are you talking about?
Okay, just DM me your number. As soon as I get I'll text you the receipt. Be like, hey, look, transaction's done. I got my PS5. Then you can do your whole tariff thing. Is that cool?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
You can just go on the Twitter and go ahead and hit me up on the Twitter. I can't do a good Donald Trump.
It's hard to do.
Suck, man.
It's real hard.
I can do anything else, but of course I can't do one of the easiest ones to do. You're fired. That's the only thing I do. You fight, and that's not that great.
No, not incredible, but keep working on it.
Okay,
he'll get there one day.
One day,
maybe when he's out of office. But maybe
that's of course what'll end up happening. I can do.
He'll be completely irrelevant. And then it's like
I can legitimately do every other president, the last 5 or 6 presidents, but for some reason I can't do the current one. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, but I don't know. So obviously the headline's a little misleading. It says new Nintendo Switch model is now in production. Obviously, after reading the article, we don't know that for sure.
No, we know that for sure because we're banking on this.
But people are, with all the rumors and reports that have come in, we are very sure of it. There's no guarantee, but we're very sure it's happening. And now that it's happening too, hopefully it will continue to come out and be the cheap one will be cheaper, and the other one, because they're supposed to be coming out with a beefier model, that one will be decently priced as well.
My wifey poo's probably going to be upset hearing this, and we'll find out later because I'll share about it, and she'll say, "Don't share that on the podcast." And then, of course, I'll share it on the podcast. But I'm thinking of buying a regular Switch for the boy, and then getting the cheaper model for myself. Buying the cheaper model when it comes out so I can have my own Switch for taking around and playing and stuff like that. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. I might get myself the nice one and get him the cheap one.
Yeah, that's what I was like, I don't know where your head's at. I'd buy him the cheap one.
I was trying to make myself sound like a really sweet dad.
No.
Who
that's not a thing.
Notice how he oh man, he was going to take the bullet for his boy, for his sweet little angel of a son. And he's going to take the crappier one.
Yeah.
Hey,
right.
folks, that ain't going to happen.
Not happening.
Okay, let's be completely honest. I might let him play mine every once in a while.
No, not even.
I won't even do that. No, I
don't even.
I won't even do that. Gosh.
What's up, guys? This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Podcoin. Do you like to listen to Super Gamer Boys? Well, the Podcoin app pays you to listen to this podcast and every other podcast out there. It's the podcast player that pays. Just get the Podcoin app on your iPhone or Android device. It's free, it's super easy to use, and you can use the Podcoin app to earn Podcoin to claim gift cards or donate to charity. It's amazing how it works, and it turns your podcast listening into charity, or if you just want to get some Amazon or Starbucks gift cards, it's pretty great. I use it every day now, listening to all of my favorite podcasts, even my own, to rack up those pod coins. I'm getting pretty close to getting my own rewards now. I love it, and it's super easy to use. You can get it from the App Store or the Android Store today. Seriously, just go get the Podcoin app, and if you use our invite code, GamerBoys, you'll get 300 Podcoin just for signing up if you use my code. That's 300 Podcoin just for signing up if you use our code, GamerBoys. It's GamerBoys. Go give the Podcoin app a try. And remember, it's a podcast player that pays. Alrighty, guys, let's get into new releases real quick. There's just 2 notable games this week. Cadence of Hyrule came out on Switch, which I will talk about because I played it.
Nice.
And then Bloodstained Ritual of the Night finally came out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. That is the game that is heavily based on the Castlevania games. I want to say it's even connected to some of the same developers and creators of the original Castlevania games on NES and Super Nintendo. They all came together and made this game called Bloodstained: Ritual of the Night. So I haven't read any reviews on it, but it's kind of a big deal, I know, when it was on like Kickstarter and stuff.
Not related to video games, but just on the word Bloodstained. My daughter, who's not quite 4, came into the room and said she was bleeding yesterday on Father's Day. And I looked at her and I was like, what? And my wife yelled to me, Jay, she's bleeding. And I looked down and my daughter's arm and her stomach was completely streaked with red everywhere and on her leg. And I freaked out and I grabbed her and I said, where are you cut? And I grabbed her and picked her up and I put her into the sink and was like, and she said, ow, ow, ow. And I started to wash off the marker that was on her. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, that doesn't look like blood. But it looked like she literally had blood everywhere. And she was saying, owie, owie, I'm bleeding. Dude.
She got you good.
She got me very good because Daddy was freaking out, man. But yeah, literally, legitimately, that bloodstained thing made me think of that, and I was like, oh gosh, I got to share that. But yeah, I thought like, oh no, like she got a hold of something and like cut herself open, and there's blood everywhere, and she had just taken a red marker and just marked all over herself because we were totally paying attention.
That's awesome. You gotta keep an eye on her. She's gonna be trouble.
Oh, just like her mother. Oh, honey, I didn't mean that. I take that back. Yeah, I'm going to hear about that later.
Yeah.
Hey, so now that we've talked about releases and stuff like that, you just shared with us, but dude, what you playing?
I have been playing Cadence of Hyrule, as I said. It is a brand new Nintendo Switch game. It is made by the creators of is an indie title, Crypt of the Necro Dancer. So kind of, not necromancer, necro dancer. You like that? It is I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it. It's a dungeon crawler game. Necro Dancer was. It was a dungeon crawler where you just go through these procedurally generated dungeons. It is a roguelike, I guess, where you die and then go back to the beginning and then die, or like, so every time you die, like you kind of lose all your stuff and you start back at the beginning. And there's certain upgrades that you keep every time you die, but every time you play, the idea is you get stronger and stronger and stronger. And similar to
Deathloop. That kind of sounds like Deathloop.
No. Dead Cells.
No.
Deathloop was a game, we don't know anything about Deathloop. That was just announced last week.
Deathloop was the one that we were talking about where it's like you learn, you keep dying, and then...
That's different. That's we don't know it.
I don't know anything about Dead Cells. It's all about
I've talked about Dead Cells before.
I didn't pay attention.
I know. So basically those developers, I want to know their name. What is the name of this company that made Brace Yourself Games? That's what they're called. He
just made that up, folks. God, you're getting good at this, making stuff for entertainment value.
Yeah, right.
He just totally came up with that off the fly of his head.
They were given the rights from Nintendo, which is a huge deal because Nintendo doesn't just give those out to anyone. As we were talking before, like they only go for quality with their games. Brace Yourself Games came out with a game called Cadence of Hyrule, and then underneath the subtitle is Crypt of the Necro Dancer featuring The Legend of Zelda. So essentially it's the same type of game, but with all Legend of Zelda characters and enemies and dungeons and like weapons and stuff. And man, it is so much fun. So the big hook to the game is that yes, you're running through these dungeons, yes, or the overworld or whatever, you're fighting all these creatures, but it's all rhythm based. So in the background, what's incredible about this game is it takes all the music, which is Legend of Zelda has always been known for its awesome music. It's very like recognizable theme song. People can hear the theme song like, oh, I know exactly what that is. Or like so much of the music is this beloved by its fans. They remixed it all into like, they have kind of two different versions. There's like when you're in combat, it's like all hyped up and like techno and kind of like very upbeat versions of the themes and stuff. And then once you beat characters and it dies down and, it's a little more chill. But you have to do everything to the beat of the music. So like you have to tap the arrow buttons to move around just on the beat. So boom, 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 boom. If you don't keep in that rhythm, you lose your turn. Like you essentially, like if you're trying to move to another square, because everything's like on a grid system, you try to move to another square, you freeze. You don't move because if you do it off beat, like you have to play on the beat. You have to attack on the beat when you use your sword, when you throw your bombs. Like everything is to the beat of this music, which I love so much because it's just like I grew up in a very musical family. I play instruments. I love music. I loved Rock Band back in the day. So as far as video games go, like Rock Band and Guitar Hero were my jam. Like me and my cousins would literally spend we'd play for like 24 hours straight. Like we'd start the night before and go all through the night. And then
Where were your parents?
It was summer vacation. We'd go over to my grandma's house and spend the night in her basement. Basically, she had like a half-finished basement, and we set up a TV. And
that's where we're doing the podcast now.
In grandma's basement.
Yeah.
And we would just play for hours and hours. And so playing this, I'm like, oh, this is like, I don't know, that same part of my brain, that just that want to like, oh, I love those rhythm type games, but it's like the combat and lore and story and art style and characters and stuff from a franchise that I absolutely adore. It's a fun game.
I know you can't tell by looking at me, but I got some juicy rhythm. Okay, this is.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. So if I were to get a hold of this game, I'd probably school you on it.
Yeah.
I've got no rhythm, dude. I can't even walk and chew bubblegum at the same time without falling down. Remember when the bed almost knocked me out? We were talking about it earlier. Yeah, no rhythm whatsoever. None.
That didn't knock any rhythm into you?
No, not at all.
Jeez. Yeah, so this is a game. If you have a Nintendo Switch, you have to buy this game. It's $25, so it's not even like full price. It's totally priced like an indie game, even though it's a top-notch, Nintendo franchise. It's a must-buy. I've heard it's a short game. I've not beat it yet. Like people say, oh, you can beat it within like 5-6 hours. I've heard people do it quicker, but like speedrunners and stuff. But on average, I die a lot. I'm real bad at it, but I still love it so much. Go buy Cadence of Hyrule. It's a good one. And then the other thing, just real quick, I watched a movie. I rarely watch movies, especially Netflix original movies. But my wife the other night was like, I want to watch a movie. I don't watch TV. Like we had just finished like a season of Survivor. We didn't have a new episode of Amazing Race. We're real into the whole reality TV thing.
Yeah.
So we're just like, what are we going to watch? And she's like, let's watch a movie on Netflix. She's like, this one looks funny. It is called Murder Mystery, featuring Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston.
I almost watched that last night, but I fell asleep. Okay. But I was going to watch it with my wife last night.
So this is by no means a good movie, but it's a fun movie.
It's
like
when you look at it, that's what
it's total junk food. Like it says here on IMDb, action comedy mystery. It's like total it's totally predictable. You know exactly what's going to happen, like the story and stuff. But at the same time, it's really funny. It's really goofy. It's really stupid. But yeah, I definitely, like I said, definitely not like a great movie, but it was like for an hour and 37 minutes, I'm like, okay, this is like, it was entertaining enough for me to stick through it for the hour and a half. I was just like, okay, this is not like.
So it's like a Twinkie. Like it tastes good, but it's not doing you any good.
Yeah, you leave and you're just like, I didn't need to watch that. But it was still like, it still had its moments where it's funny. And yeah, even though it's still like predictable and stuff, throughout the movie, like at the beginning, I'm like, oh, this might be what happened. And then they like throw a curveball, like, oh, maybe not. And then you go right back to like, oh no, this is probably what happened. And they throw another curveball, like, oh, but maybe this. And like, no. So it's like kind of does that a little bit.
Yeah, it sounds fun. I guess we're gonna watch that tonight then, and I'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, no, give it a shot. If you're into just a total junk food garbage movie, like give it a shot. I'm not. This is not Garrett approved, like stamp of approval. Like this is my movie of the week or whatever. But
that's what I heard was you gave it 2 stars. That's the way everybody else is gonna remember it later. Garrett said 2 stars, 2 thumbs up.
But. Yeah, what about you? What have you been playing?
Oh, This week I have played nothing at all. Not anything at all.
Cool.
Now, last week I played a very small amount of Borderlands 2. And I got up on Sunday morning with every intention. This was Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Happy belated Father's Day to you.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah. I got up with every intention. I set an alarm 6:15 in the morning, and I thought, I'm going to get some alone time, some quiet time, just me and my video games. That's it. Just play a little Borderlands. And unfortunately, when I got up, my wife said, hey, you need to wash a load of clothes so the baby has clothes to go to church in. And I was like, but I was going to play video games for a little bit. And yeah, I said it under my breath, like kind of. She said, what did you say? And I said, okay, how many dresses would you like me to wash? And so I proceeded to go and like start washing a load of clothes. I had to pull them out and separate them and everything else. And by the time I made coffee and got the load going, it was just before 7 o'clock. And the boy walked in. And he said, Dad.
Boy.
And I was like, boy, get out of here, boy. He's like, Dad, dude, give me the controller. I want to play. And I'm like, no. Look. This is Dad's time. Dad set this time and carved it out for himself. It is Father's Day. Let me have my Father's Day to myself. And he threw a fit, and then I like begged him to go out of the room. And so I said, look, watch a couple of YouTube videos on my phone for a little bit, buddy. That way Daddy can play just a smidge, a little bit. Just let me get 20 to 30 minutes in, okay? And I would have stolen more time if I could. But I said, just give me just a little bit, just a little tiny bit. And he goes, okay. So he takes the phone and goes out of the room, and I'm like, great. So then I literally sit down, I hit the button, it starts to go into the loading screen, and that's when the baby came out. And she was pissed. She was in a very bad mood. She woke up, and I wasn't right there, like to wait on her hand and foot like the slave that I am. She pops up, and she's like, ah! And I'm like, no, your brother has a phone. Go, hang out with your brother. And she was not having it. And then he said, you should go lay down with Mommy. Mommy's laying right there. Why don't you go lay down with Mommy? You still need to be asleep. And she's like, no, I want to lay down with you. And I'm like, okay, happy Father's Day, Daddy.
Yeah.
So she proceeded to crawl into my lap, and I thought, she's big enough that I can't get my hands on the controller while she's right there. So I just gave up, and I put on a Netflix show.
Nice.
No, it's not, Garrett.
I know.
It was a great Father's Day.
Sorry, I guess, but no, that's rough. But I definitely get the feeling. I mean, there's a couple weeks ago where I had gone a long time without playing too. I mean, I don't know the exact feeling because I don't have 3 kids who torture me. But
yeah, it's coming, and I beg the good Lord to bestow that stuff on you at some point.
Gee,
where you
thanks.
come in. Well, hey, it could happen. No, you know what? That I did do. I don't know if I shared it last week, but last week I watched the Netflix original movie too, and I did send you a text about it.
Mm-hmm.
I Am Mother. I don't know if I shared that on the podcast.
I watched a
or
trailer.
not.
No, you didn't. I watched a trailer of it this last week, and I was like, that looks weird.
It is super weird, and it's also a Netflix original. But you know what? I had a blast watching it. In fact, I had watched it the previous Sunday in that early morning time before church when I can have quiet time without the kids or the wife, getting in there and telling me beat it, So I had a little, and that's what I watched, and I enjoyed the heck out of it, and I thought it was great. Netflix has been coming up with some pretty great original content, and they've got a lot of movies, like an Adam Sandler movie.
With stuff.
No.
Coming out with stuff.
What I mean by that is they're coming out with stuff like an Adam Sandler movie that is a junk food. That's like, hey, it serves a purpose.
I feel like they're in an experimental mode right now. Like there's a lot of stuff that's like, oh, that's an interesting thing for Netflix to give a shot. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But you can tell they're definitely experimenting, especially with Disney Plus and other platforms on the horizon. Like Warner Brothers announced they're doing a streaming service now. There's all these companies who are like, we're going to do our own streaming service. Netflix is kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks, I feel like. And that way they already have an idea of what their content rollout's going to look like once all these competitors start coming out.
Netflix created last year, they had a TV series that they dropped with like 10 episodes. And I want to say that it's called Everything Sucks. And they dropped it and had like 10 episodes. And it's based on these young high school kids in the 90s. And it was perfect age group for me. It was when I was that age. And I was like, oh, the music was amazing. And I'm like, it was so great. It was such a fun show. It was very nostalgic for me. And they canceled it almost right away. And it was like, wow, you're not giving it a chance. It was really great. And it was just shortly after. So it makes me not trust any of their TV shows.
No, yeah.
Like they just recently canceled Santa Clarita Diet.
Yeah.
And that was based on that the 3-season thing. After 3 seasons, those shows cost so much more. So they cut them off and just say, oh, we can keep showing these things forever now, these three seasons. But they left it open.
Mm-hmm.
They're not telling them, hey, go ahead and wrap it up. Let's wrap it up,
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting to see what Netflix does over the next few years with all these competitors come out of the woodwork. But cool. Well, what do you say we bring in our premier in-house Fortnite expert to give us the Fortnite Report?
The Fortnite Report.
All right, guys. Here is our expert. We are live in studio with him now. We have JJ's
progeny, the bane of my existence. I don't know. Is that accurate?
Well, I don't know.
That would be like my enemy.
You tell me.
No, it's my boy.
I'm not the bane of your existence.
You're not the bane of my existence. All right.
I am not.
Okay. So what is your name, son?
Lee. I've been on this podcast like 2 times already.
Okay, well.
Okay, wait a second. Dad does
get
a joke.
a little sassy.
Yeah, you're going to calm down the attitude there, buddy. But there's other listeners who maybe haven't heard you here on this podcast before, so you're new to them.
Did you know that we have over 6,000 downloads on our episodes? There's been a lot of people who've probably heard your voice.
One of those are my mom.
One of those, just one?
Does she listen through to see if Dad's saying anything inappropriate?
Kind of.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Luckily, she wasn't there for your last podcast. One of those parts.
Oh, okay. So we'll have to talk about that off the air.
Yeah, anyway.
All right.
Do not talk about that.
Do not talk about that. Okay.
Like, get your mic down. Get it down.
All right. So one of the things is that we brought you in studio because just recently we had a new season. What season was this recently on Fortnite?
Season 9.
Season 9. Okay. And so what is like the major thing that just happened? Because every time that Fortnite has a new season, they always change something about the map or whatever. I mean, what was last time? Last time was the
Ice Pirates.
The pirates, right? Yeah.
Pirates and Volcano.
Okay, so what did are there still pirates around? What'd they do?
There's still pirates, but here's the thing. Now that the new season is, Season 8 got tilted everyone's favorite, every Twitch TV's favorite spot to land, tilted and hecking Retail Row. Everybody loved that place. Everyone. They got destroyed by hecking a fireball coming out of the volcano. That was the best event
Those
I've
are my
ever
favorite
seen.
places to drop.
You've never played it.
No, he's played it. So Tilted Tower, as far as I understand, and Retail Row were the most popular spots for anybody. And what you were saying like people who do Twitch streams of playing Fortnite, as well as people who are playing it on YouTube that do YouTube streaming. A lot of them, they really enjoyed going to those places, and now they blew it up. So what is there in its place?
Neo Tilted and Mega Mall.
Okay, that sounds cool.
So Mega Mall is like what, a whole bunch of different like stores where they have
It's
it all
like
set
an
up?
Apple
it's the
store,
same houses from the
Sbarro's,
last
pizza.
season. It's the same houses from the last season, but they added some new stuff in those houses, and they added a mall on the other side that got destroyed, where the buildings were that you could buy stuff at.
Okay, so with this mall, please tell me that there's an escalator that you can go up and down on.
You are way too fashionable.
I'm way too
No.
fashionable?
No.
Nobody's ever said that about me, son.
Wow.
No, of course not.
Wait. Why
That's
would
way
there be
too difficult for them to put in the game. They just put in a volcano exploding
Okay, but I don't
and a
understand.
cube that exploded.
All right, how would they not have an escalator at this mall? I'm not going to this mall, Garrett.
No.
There's no way.
Definitely not.
Is there like a corn dog place or any ice cream?
Auntie Anne's
Yeah, there is an
pretzels.
ice cream place. There is an ice
They,
cream.
they got
Okay,
the
all
Dippin'
right,
Dots.
all right.
They got the Dippin' Dots.
All right, Fortnite, you were worrying me for a second.
But the biggest thing so far that we've seen, most of you people out there that play Fortnite, you would definitely need to know this if you haven't played in a long time. There is now a humongous monster roaming around the map that was in ice and broke out. There's a humongous monster that no one knows where it is, but footprints got tracked in the snow. No one knows where it is.
Okay,
Oh,
so it's like kind of a Yeti or like an abominable snowman, maybe?
It's like Godzilla or a dragon. It's Godzilla or a dragon. Those are the two ones that
These are
everyone's
theories,
thinking
right?
about.
These are just theories.
Yeah, because no one's
Yes,
seen
these
it,
are
right?
theories.
Okay.
Everyone's seen the eyeball of it. That used to be a thing that you could see the eyeball out of the ice. It would just
Okay.
stare around at you.
Oh, and it kind of move around a little bit in
Yeah,
the
and it would
ice?
kind of push you back with the ice.
Whoa.
Okay, that sounds like some drinks I've gotten from Jack in the Box.
Wow.
So, yeah, they do.
Plug in Jack in the Box in the middle of your podcast.
They're
Wow,
one of our
man.
sponsors
This episode
now.
is brought to you
Why
by
would they be your...
Jack.
by the good folks over at Jack in the Box.
Yeah, where else could you get a taco, a burger, and Chinese food? I don't know what
For
they
$2.99.
I don't
They
know.
very well might have
They
that
serve
by
it all
now.
over there.
We try not to go to a lot of eateries like that, but when we do, I'm loving me the Jack in the Box.
Burping contest.
Yeah.
Burping contest.
What do you mean burping contest? Is that on Fortnite as well?
No, but rock, paper, scissors is.
Is it really?
Yep, there's a
Wow.
rock, paper, scissors dance.
So what?
Alrighty. What's one last thing then you want to leave with everyone as the premier Fortnite expert? What's the last thing, either advice or a new feature that they need to know about?
How about something about my body?
Okay.
One of my molar teeth.
Okay, this is not good. This is not good. Put your pants back on. What are you doing?
It's about my mouth.
Why you had your pants off? Just go ahead. What do you?
My molar is coming out right now because I was just out of the room and somehow it got loose to where I can pull it out in 10 seconds.
Okay, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to your daddy. Look, we're on the air. We are going out. Thousands of people are downloading this podcast, son. Here's what we should do right here in studio. Let Dad tie a string around your tooth. I'm gonna start telling you a story because that's
Mom
what I
wants
do.
to
I just
see
make
it.
stuff
I just
up.
called her.
We could have your tooth getting pulled on the record. Like, you'll remember it forever. You'll have this memory. It'll forever be on the internet. You can have your kids listen to this podcast where your tooth is pulled out of your head.
We'll still be on the air by that point. Pretty sure.
What do you say? Have your dad yank it out, and then in 30 years you can have your kids listen to this.
Unless you call my mom on Facebook, I can't do that. She wants to see this.
Hey, I'm your dad.
Well,
I make
she'll see the
decisions
tooth
too.
later.
No. I make decisions too. I'm dad. I can do that. No, you know what? You're right. We probably should talk to Mom first.
Yeah.
Or I could just grab my fingers and pull it out.
Yeah, maybe you could. All right. So thank you so much, Mr. Lee Purdom. Anything else you want to say out there to all of the people listening in Super Gamer Boy land?
Stay fun and stay nerdy.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
I like that. Awesome. Thank you so much. Back to you, Garrett. Oh, thanks, Garrett. Yeah, we're back in studio now with this is JJ and I. Our informant is gone home. He's probably playing some more Fortnite now. But
Can you believe that, dude? I'm kind of upset. He comes in here and he starts like poking and prodding, and he's trying to be like, he's trying to one up me, dude, with like trying to be funny and
I
stuff.
think he's trying to be funnier than you. He's trying to outdo the big funny man.
That's every daddy's dream. Is that their boy will just be better than them in every way. Thank you, son.
I'm also going to start calling you the BFM from now on.
And he was trying to throw me under the bus, too.
No, I don't know what you said last episode, but he heard it and he made sure.
Apparently,
he covered for you, it sounded like.
He's marked it up. And apparently, like, when she's playing that part of the podcast, he's like, la, 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 like talking over it, like trying to get Dad to not get hit, you know?
Just chucks a phone into a pool. Alrighty. Well, let's do one last segment. We're back with a regular show. So we have some time, even though we are running late. But we're going to make time. We're making some frickin' time for you guys to do question of the show. We don't have a jingle here or anything, but question of the show.
Oh, that was actually pretty good.
You like that?
Yeah, I really do.
So this comes from Chloe, regular listener and writer-inner.
I don't know if that's a thing. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
Well, Chloe McConnell is one of our amazing original listeners of the Super Gamer Boys. And I remember that she was reaching out and she stayed up all night long watching our one and only incredible Twitch stream.
Some say it was so good. That's why we
should never do it again, right?
Yeah, we can never do another one because it would just... People would die. People would probably die.
I heard it was because shortly after what happened at your bathroom there, you guys had to move out. I
mean, that's partially true, too. Our landlord may not give us our security deposit back because of it. We'll see.
You know what? I'm really sorry.
No.
How many times do I have to say sorry?
Here is her question. She says, hello. If you guys could make a TV show, what would it be? It can be anything. I can't wait to hear what you guys come up with. Good luck. I feel like
she's like, good luck.
I know. I feel like she just threw us like in a coliseum against each other, like pitted us against each other, like good luck, and then like padlocks the door, and like okay.
All right.
What do you think?
I'm
going to go first.
Okay.
I want to go first. Here's what I want to do. You're gonna love this idea. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be us doing the podcast, but live.
Oh.
Pretty cool, huh?
That is a great TV
and
show.
We're going to name it Super Gamer Boys Live.
Oh, dude, I like that. That's classy.
It's just us on a sweet stage with a bunch of neon lights and cool backgrounds and LED screens and TVs.
Oh, so much neon. So much neon, Garrett.
We have skits instead of like doing goofs and stuff. So we do our news and then we come in like SNL skit style, just like.
Dude. I would love that tremendously. I
awesome.
love the idea of us doing skits and it being a thing where it's just the two of us doing different characters and different skits that are... I say we start doing that on YouTube. Let's just go ahead and say it now. Let's make that into a TV show. Patreon, we're going to need more help.
Yeah, we need to echo a lot more Patreon supporters, but I'd be down. Okay, now it's your turn. What would your show be?
Okay. So here's the thing. One of my favorite shows in the world is Hoarders. I love Hoarders. And every once in a while, my wife and I will watch Hoarders, and it makes us get up and want to clean. We're not hoarders, but it makes us want to clean.
I've heard it both ways.
Okay, whatever. So or some people just get depressed and just go, yeah, I give up. Hey, they can get away with it, right? I was thinking it would be really great is if we just went to hoarders' houses and we made them feel bad about how dirty they were. And we like forced them to throw all of their precious keepsakes away. Like we went through and like helped them clean their homes. But we were like Simon Cowling it. You know, like we were going into their house and going like, who needs an old 1978 can of tuna like right here that's been open and already emptied out, and you've got like the lid still attached. So the lid was special. It was my grandmother's. What? Like, dude, no. I say we just go and like tear people's lives apart. That
so it's
sounds
basically
fun.
like Gordon Ramsay's like Hell's Kitchen or something.
It's just for hoarders.
For hoarders.
That's what we would call it. Hell's Hoarders.
Hell's Hoarders. Oh man. I mean, I guess it'd be a fun show.
I think it'd be a great show.
I like my show, but I'm a little more like, I guess I took this question a little more seriously, but.
Yours is great. Yours is great, but I actually was taking mine seriously. I was thinking, I was thinking like reality. I was thinking reality show, or I'm kind of hurt now. I'm thinking reality show, and there's no reason why I'm going to stop at one. What about a situation comedy? I love good sitcoms.
Just do a sitcom where we're neighbors.
Dude, like the Odd Couple of pest control, that we like live next door to each other, or no, maybe we're roommates. Maybe we're roommates, you and I.
Oh man.
Oh, I'm loving this.
That idea gives me anxiety so bad.
Why did you turn colors right now? You turned all green just at the thought. Are you serious?
Even though this idea is like literally a million years from ever possibly happening.
What do you mean? We could do this.
I got like physically sick there. Like my stomach like sunk when
why is it a million years from ever happening?
Us living together, being roommates, that just makes, I don't know.
You don't know. Things could change, Garrett, and then you and me.
JJ, I love you, man. Like we're friends.
I do.
We do a podcast together. We have a lot of fun together.
We do. We do have a lot of
fun together.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, buddy.
But
I'm picking.
Just to be, can I be straight up with you? I'm going to be straight up because we're friends.
No, I don't. I'd rather you not. I'd rather you lie to my face.
We love each other.
I'd rather you lie to my face.
I don't ever want to live with you.
I'm kind of hurt right now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. Damn, that hurts.
I feel like
am I crying right now? Am I crying? Is that are those tears?
There is a little tear coming down your face, and I feel a little bad.
I think it's the lights in here.
But I still kind of mean it.
Yeah, I feel like you're not saying that for humor. I feel like you're saying that like you're just joking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna talk about this after we turn the mics off, man.
Okay.
We have some work to do.
Yep.
We might need to go to like Super Gamer Boys counseling.
That could be another show.
Oh yeah, we're Super Gamer Boys counsel other people.
Yes, us two on a couch, and then we have people come in and just give them real bad advice.
Oh, like horrible, the worst advice. Well, it must be from you because I give pretty good advice.
Eh.
What do you mean, eh? I've advised you many times with many different things. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, my advice for right now is that we finish this podcast.
My advice is that you guys go out and review us on iTunes.
And my other advice is to also go out and check out our Patreon.
I advise you to do that too.
If you guys would please do both of those things. Rating and reviewing us on iTunes is such a huge deal. If you have iTunes, download us there as well. Anything that has to do with iTunes is awesome. Unfortunately, our world is ruled and governed by Apple Corporation. Nothing we can do can happen without their say-so.
They and Google are the overlords.
Yeah. So basically, we can never become a successful podcast unless they say so. And they will not say so unless you rate and review us there. So please take 2 seconds out of your time to just go and hit the 5 stars or leave a written review. Even if you don't listen to us on iTunes, go through and download all of our episodes on iTunes and then just delete them right away. But at least download them. I know it sounds like we're gaming the system a little bit.
What?
But no, really. iTunes, in the post I said earlier this week, we were charting, but we were charting on the Podcoin charts, which is still a huge deal. Like the fact that we were, I took a screenshot today, we were 1 spot below This American Life.
Which is
like the biggest podcast in the United States. On their ranking, it was like at 76 this week. So whatever episode came out obviously wasn't that good.
Apparently, we almost kicked its butt.
We were at like 77 or something like that on the charts. Like
That's
next
amazing.
to This American Life. The other day, we were 1 above The Adventure Zone, which is one of my favorite D&D podcasts. We were ahead of them. I was like, take that, McElroy Brothers.
Right?
But if we could have that same, if we can take that success that we're finding on Podcoin and take it to the bigger platform like Apple, that's when we're going to, be able to blow up. And when we blow up, that just means so much bigger, cooler stuff for everyone else. Because like we've talked about before, more people listen, the more potential Patreon supporters we get by going to patreon.com/supergamerboys. And when you go over there, support us there, we can get new equipment and record more stuff. And, if we are able to get a little more money, then we are able to put more time and effort into this thing. Because at this point, it's hard. We already have full-time jobs and stuff like that. But I would love one day to be able to start doing this a little more part-time even. At this point, it's kind of a part-time job for me, but even more so part-time, like more on a scheduled time frame where we can do bonus episodes and we can do different podcasts.
He means
besides our-
part-time on making cash money and walking around with jingly jangly money in his pocket.
No, I don't even mean that though. Like I mean like I would love to be able to like have like the to be able to even bring more content, because at this point I feel like we're maxed out, you know, just because we don't have the budget. It's just like, oh, it's hard to bring more content out. But if there was a little more...
We're going to start working on that skit show. We're going to start working on that skit show. And we got a game show in the works as well. I'm thinking JJ wants to be a millionaire. It's like a new concept that we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I share all that with you because our motto here is like transparency is key. That's what we do. We JJ tells the crazy stories that happen in life. I share my stories.
Her motto is not tell them what they want to hear.
Well, no,
that's the motto that's on my.
Maybe that's your motto. But
that's the motto that I had stitched on my backpack.
Okay. But no, we want to be upfront and honest with all of you guys, especially people giving us money.
Yes.
But thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to find us during the week, go over to supergamerboys.com. Twitter and Instagram, you can find us at supergamerboys. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/supergamerboys. My personal Twitter, at @gmorlang. And JJ's personal Twitter is...
at JJ Purdom, and I could not get logged into Twitter this week. I did try to look at it, but for some reason I forgot my password.
That's understandable.
I need you to help me with that.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to Star Andrews for our logo. Check her out on Instagram at Ground Floor Graphics and Facebook.com/Ground Floor Graphics. Alrighty, guys. Well, we're pretty close to our normal time slot. About 1:20. Not too shabby.
Look at that.
It's about 40 minutes less than last week's episode, so you're welcome.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And Garrett was totally worried. He's like, man, I don't have anything to talk about. We barely got any
news stories are bottom of the barrel, and we made them work.
And I just straight told you, I looked you right dead in your eye when I said, don't worry, Garrett, I got stuff.
And then I looked back into his eyes, and I said, you know what?
You're staring too close at me, and you need to probably back away from my face?
No, I said, I'll catch you on the flippity flop.
Dang!
Gotcha.